Hello and welcome back to r/askreddit. If there was a company that did historical tours via time travel, what trips would be in high demand? I'm feeling Pompeii would be popular, so you could see the before and after effects via time travel. If you're feeling exceptionally adventurous, you could turn the site into a minigame to see how many of your tourists could survive in the volcanic eruption on their own. If they die, use time travel and save them, saying that they didn't make it. If they survive, give them a pat on the back, and then go on your way to see the Titanic next. Going back to the Trojan War, I want to see if Helen was as hot as they say she was. I always wondered how high those standards were. Big demand would be for short-term time travel, like visiting past loved ones, or playing with your toddler kids again. Italy, around 1500s. Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, and Michelangelo all working, frequently in the same cities. Mostly either Florence for the Medici, or in Rome for the Pope. I also would like to meet the Ninja Turtles. World War II seems popular, as a lot of people want to try and stop Hitler. Probably momentous times in human history. Imagine if you were on the Titanic and someone said, "I'll be gone tomorrow. This bitch is gonna hit an iceberg the next day. It's gonna fuck you up even if you don't believe in time travelers." Pre-eruption Pompeii. Wonder which Redditor tour member got left behind as the masturbating guy. Dude's a legend. He saw the world ending around him and just said, "Fuck it. Guess I'll rub one out real quick." Maybe he searched all his life for his kink, only to find it was erupting volcanoes that got his rocks off. So I was hanging out in ancient Pompeii, wondering why boulders look thicker the closer they get. Then it hit me. Edit. Joke shamelessly stolen from Stuart Francis. The lost colony of Roanoke. I'm gonna rate Croton on a tree to fuck with people. Walking with dinosaurs. Don't step off the path. Getting eaten by dinosaurs. Getting eaten by Jesus. You've been eating him for a couple of thousands years, so I guess that's fair. Little known fact, it would have looked a lot different than what we've seen represented in pop culture. Jesus's had feathers and looked a lot more like birds than lizards. Raptor Jesus wants a word. Latest papers on the subject suggest that the common chicken is related to the original Jesus. Nowadays they've lost their ability to walk on water, but you can get at least 3 miracles per egg. Walking with Jesus. Side note, I went to see Walking with Dinosaurs in Las Vegas at the IMAX theater in MGM. It was an early showing, and I really liked dinosaurs. It was me and my SO, and Ron Jeremy, and some lady friends of his. It was only us there. I recognized Ron Jeremy from a very sad documentary film about his life, but I've never seen his adult films. Now I associate Walking with Dinosaurs with Ron Jeremy. And he looked sad, and the ladies he was with were such sweethearts. They were really nice to me, but I think he just wanted to see the 3D dinosaurs, as did I. Just fucking imagine what the Titanic would be like. A huge line of people queuing up to do the Titanic pose at the front of the ship, and then all the contemporary people asking what the fuck is going on. So basically that Rick and Morty episode. Actually, only 1,000 people or so were the original attendees. Those other thousands were just time travelers. Time travelers in their own minds, anyway. A trip to the Roman Empire. We'd be able to meet historical figures such as Augustus, Caesar, Brutus, and Bickus Dickus. He has a wife, you know. Incontinentia. Incontinentia buttocks. Thank you all, kind stranger. I will speak well of you to Theta and Incontinentia next time I see them. This must be A Sound of Thunder by Ray Bradbury. He was a fantastic short story writer. Plot twists abound. I'd like to go back and hear Beethoven play. The people who know him today are most aware of his compositions, and he was a brilliant composer. But by some historical accounts, he was a far better player. When he first arrived in Vienna, his reputation preceded him, and the musicians of the day set out to challenge him to a contest to test his skills. One of them said, "We mean to hew him to pieces." Afterwards, the same person said, "Oh, that man has a devil. He improvised airs on a theme I gave him as I've never heard even Mozart play." Mozart himself allegedly said, "Keep your eyes on that fellow. One day, he'll give the world something to talk about." Seeing him play live versus watching his works would be like the difference between seeing Hendrix play guitar versus seeing an orchestra play his compositions. All those amazing performances are lost to time, I'd like to see one. Edit it to fix spelling mistakes and thank mysterious stranger for gold. Mosh pit at the Beethoven concert? Alright, pussies, I want to see a motherfucking circle pit. This next song's called Feliz. You motherfuckers better make the biggest wall of death this concert hall has ever seen. Anyway, here's a piece titled Wonderwall. Jesus' birth. It would be so high demand that all the hotels in the area would be full. Wait. You might be onto something here. The new star was nothing but the time ship loading and unloading passengers. Innkeeper. Sorry, we're all booked for Christmas. Mary and Joseph. Booked for what? I imagine lots of Anglophiles would want to visit Victorian England and then hate it after 5 minutes. Edit. It makes me very happy that my top comments of all time has many comments about poop and syphilis. Warms my heart. I could see a ball being fun. But for the most part, everything pre-1950 is going to be gross, physically and otherwise, for some people. Did people wipe their asses? I read accounts of Clevelanders traveling to Europe on business trips in the early 1900s, and they would take toilet paper with them because it wasn't as common across the pond. Cleveland was also the 5th largest US city at the time. Oh, Moyori, look at this eloquent city, back in a more civilized era, unlike the filth we have today. I simply cannot fathom general bad odor of surroundings and people strikes as well as the screams of a person about to be put to death by the guillotine. Yeah, let's not go back. On second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. Demand would rise and fall with movies and TV series, and there would be likely much more historical-based series. I think many of the big battles via history would be popular. There is also a period of unknown in our history. I can see people going back and studying lost civilizations too. Edit. Wow, that's my inbox blown up. Today was a really crappy day for me, just in a low place. So it was a great surprise to read all the comments there. Thank you. I'd want to see how civilizations from Mesopotamia looked like at their peaks. Assyria, Babylon, it all fascinates me, and there's so much still left to mystery there. Seeing the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, or the Colossus of Rhodes. Just seeing if they were real, and if so, visiting them would be incredible, yes. Or maybe seeing the fabled Australia from folktale. Childhood. Why would I want to go to Roman times? Or ancient Egypt where I can't speak the language and I'm carrying viruses that'll kill everyone? I want to go back to when I was 5 or 6. I want to walk down my old streets. I want to bump into my parents as they walk down that street, maybe with me in the pram. Pat myself on the head and tell my parents, he's a cute one. I want to roam around for a day as an adult and experience that time in a way I couldn't as a child. I want to spend a day in the familiarity of my childhood through my eyes now and see what it looks like. To recharge the memory as little by little, I lose more and more. My 4-year-old daughter asked me last night, what was your favorite toy when you were a kid? Your comment hits home for me, as I honestly don't remember much of my childhood. Excuse me while I head to Roswell, New Mexico. I have a weather balloon I want to see. Edit. I'm at home with a really bad cold, and I fell asleep for an hour and this blew up. Some of the comments have given me a really good laugh, whilst I cough myself to death, consider going from Lemsip to Lemsip max strength. Plot twist. You are the weather balloon. The German Tour. A tour through the history of the region. Start with Germanic tribes, move through the Holy Roman Empire, past the creation of modern Germany, and culminating with hitting Hitler in the nuts. A trip to the Alexandrian Library, before its knowledge was lost. Edit, apostrophe. Best practice that ancient Egyptian then. Ancient Greek would be a great deal more useful. Don't need to speak to burn and loot stuff. Beatles concerts. That's why there's so little high quality footage. How about seeing their gigs in Hamburg before they were famous? Or the Cavern Club? With our current obsession with serial killers, who knows? Ringside seats to Jack the Ripper, Bundy, the Zodiac Killer, etc. Zodiac Killer? Ted Cruz is still slaying in the Sonata. The life of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad alone would make that company a trillionaire. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, consider subscribing and leaving a like on this video. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.